This is for the nerds, this is for the brainiacs, this what we deserve. Go ahead and play it back, you ain't gonna touch me, you not gonna do nothing, you are not above me, I bet you wish you was me, I know it, I know.
Hi.
Hey guys, what's up?
She's back.
Causing havoc all over Las Vegas and shit.
210 people were in the bullpen waiting for
waiting.
the return of Poo Dog Melissa.
That's right. They want to hear all the juicy stories.
All the tea, all of the Spanish men.
It was mostly like other European countries.
Why?
It's Barcelona. I don't know. They
Barcelona. I don't
they
know.
travel there.
It's like New York City.
That's in Spain.
Yeah, it's
New York
like
City's
it was
like all
really
the
like a
countries.
mix
Yeah.
of all like European countries.
Yeah, except in New York City, everybody's from New York City.
No.
No.
What? What are you
Well,
talking
I
about?
mean, okay.
No.
They're from Santo Domingo.
Are
Right, they just landed there.
Yeah.
All right, I guess. I don't know shit about shit. Whatever. Welcome back, Melissa. This is
Thank
another
you.
episode of the
Got
Only Friends
Get back
podcast.
safely.
You got back. They let you back in the country.
They did let me back in, barely.
Really?
Mm.
No,
Okay.
they let me in.
How was the trip?
It was great. It was tiring, but it was good.
You get that first class treatment?
No first class treatment. I had a connecting flight. My travel days were like 20 hours each.
Hit up that red light district in Amsterdam?
No,
Did
I
they
was
pay
just
you
in the
for your travel
airport.
hours?
I should.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, if they paid her for the travel hours, they would just upgrade her to
Yeah,
first
exactly.
class.
Yeah, because then they know. They're like,
Yeah.
well, we can't afford this extra 20 hours of Melissa.
Yeah, that shit's costly, you know?
I
Just
was preparing that whole time. So,
preparing not to lose your mind.
yeah.
How was the trip? How was your first experience commentating? I caught a little bit of it. Thought you guys did pretty well.
It was good. It was fun. I don't know. It brought me back to my streaming days. I got to talk with the chat and,
Every time
Shoot
I
the
checked
shit.
in, you guys were just on a boat.
what do you
It's like-
mean?
Did they pay you?
Literally every time that something was posted about you and Henry at Party Poker Live,
Oh,
you
we
guys
were
were just on a fucking boat
Well,
in
we
the
only went
Mediterranean
on a boat
somewhere.
once, but we just filmed a lot on that
Do they
day.
pay you for your boat hours?
No.
No.
That's the bonus.
Yeah, that
It's a
was
boat
just like
bonus.
I feel like there's a lot of like planes and boats and not a lot
Trains.
of talking.
Yeah.
I like that gig. A nice
yeah,
gig.
no, it was nice. We got to do a lot of partying, and
This shit
we
is fire, bro.
went out one night with the Dutch high roller crew, and they got a table at OPM.
Berkey, are
Mm.
you part of the Dutch High Roller crew?
No, that's Landon.
Oh,
No.
Wait, are you part of the Dutch
He's
High Roller crew?
Norwegian. He's not
Norse.
Dutch.
Yeah, he's Dutch adjacent.
Dutch adjacent's fair, yeah.
He's the taller,
We all-
slightly whiter.
It's just a collection of people that get sunburned really easily.
Yeah. You're the taller, slightly whiter version of Deutschland. Or
Deutschland.
No, but that's Germany.
Netherlands.
The Netherlands.
Netherlands.
Yeah.
Idiot from Northern Europe.
Scandinavians. The Scandi group.
Yeah. Fucking idiot from Northern Europe.
Yeah, I'm part of the idiots. Yeah, I'm like lead idiot from the idiots. in
Lead
Northern Europe.
idiot.
Yo, I'm telling you, Phil Hellmuth made mad people famous, man.
I saw him in the bathroom yesterday. He was just standing there. Weird.
Tell me,
Just
Steve.
What do you mean he was
standing
just
there?
standing
He was
there?
like, I was like walking out. He was kind of in like the corner of the bathroom, just like on the phone or something.
Meditating.
I don't know.
Oh, he's probably moving markets.
Probably.
On the
He
phone,
was on
like
his
talking,
phone?
or just like on his phone?
I think he was just on his phone.
Like he wasn't
Trying
on
to
the
find some
phone.
peace and quiet, maybe.
That's my dream, is to catch Helmuth walking out of a stall and just go, Phil, you stink.
This is your dream.
Yeah,
That's your
my
dream. Dream
Very
big.
low bar.
Dream big.
This is what
yeah.
this is what your entire life's been waiting for. Is this very moment?
Low bar, baby. Low bar. You set it low, you can't ever be disappointed.
Well, it sounds like
yeah.
you haven't reached this goal yet. So
Yet is the key word, Landon.
Right.
I know we talked about, me potentially like doing some escapades with some hot European men, some
Escapades.
Spanish men.
Yeah.
It didn't happen. I was so tired, like my days off, I just like slept all day.
You couldn't find a sex slave
No, I mean, like I matched with people.
Sure.
And they were really hot, but I was just like
How many people did you match with that didn't speak English?
0. Most of them were like from the UK.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, it seems like Spain would be a
Australian.
nice vacation spot in the summertime.
Yeah, it was
you're
like a lot
okay.
of people from the UK and Australia and like,
Yeah.
I would,
you know.
I would assume
Ireland.
that
A lot
of
most
people from
people in
Australia?
Europe
Huh?
speak English.
Australia
though, too.
people?
Yeah.
Wow. I
Yeah.
gotta get my passport fixed.
I would imagine that Spain is to the UK as like the Bahamas are to Seattle.
What is
right.
this analogy? bro?
What?
The UK is like very dark and gloomy and rainy and like, the mid temps.
But like not everyone from Seattle goes to the Bahamas.
No,
That's
I'm
not what
saying
he's saying. He's
that-
saying that like,
Oh.
yeah,
it's a
Otherwise-
destination. Like
Okay,
it's a
yeah.
travel
Right.
destination.
Yeah. Okay.
The way the Bahamas would be to people who are trapped in Seattle.
Bro, Christian can't take it, dude.
Maybe Hawaii.
Yeah, maybe
That's
Hawaii.
on that coast.
Yeah, that's reasonable. What is this face?
That's
I got stuck.
yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about. Seattle and Bahamas.
Idioms and analogies, all that stuff.
That shit was mad
he's saying,
disconnected.
he's saying the UK is cloudy and Barcelona is sunny and
Also in proximity, they're not that far apart. Very similar.
What? Seattle's top left.
Okay.
yeah, no, okay, that
Yeah, Europe is very
So maybe
okay,
Hawaii.
Bahamas then
Obviously,
Bahamas
but
is
like,
bottom right, yeah.
proportionally speaking, the United States is much larger than Europe.
Right.
So like, proportionally speaking, they're not that far
yeah.
apart.
I would love
it's
to
probably
see,
a 7-hour flight from Seattle to Bahamas.
Yeah, it's probably a 7-hour drive from UK to Spain.
I would love to see you
That's
play.
fair.
I would love to see you play GeoGuessr, Matt.
What do you mean?
It's just a game where like they just put you in a random location with the Google car and you move and you have to guess where you are and then you get points based off how many kilometers away you are.
Oh, I'd be terrible at that. I mean, like
Obviously.
if you spotted me like a country.
People in the chat
Okay, okay.
saying Seattle people go to Hawaii.
Yeah, that's
See,
fair.
that's
That's fine.
I know my shit.
That's what Melissa said.
You're with the shits.
They're also asking if
You know.
Berkey's high.
Why would I be high?
Berkey hit
Because Conrad's
Conrad's
not here,
blood
you have
this
to take
morning.
over that role.
Yo, where's
Conrad
Conrad
just
actually?
like has anybody seen Conrad?
We haven't seen him. We don't know.
we
took me-
lost the
We
Connie.
would like
He
to tell
wasn't
you
at
where Conrad,
home.
why
How
he's
much
not
is
here
that
today.
tab,
but-
bro? Did he just dip?
He's too high.
Conrad took me to the gym this morning.
I told
He
you
was-
he brought a knapsack of weed home yesterday. He's gone, man. He's just done.
Yeah, we lost.
He
the-
smoked it all.
He wasn't
Lost the
home when
comrade.
we left.
Moment of silence for Conrad.
If anyone out there knows where he is, let us know.
Where is he, bro?
I don't know. He's missing.
He's probably across the street.
No, his car was gone.
Car was gone.
I honestly, I mean, he is dedicated to the podcast. He loves this. I'm a little
But he
concerned.
loves tournaments way more.
Yeah.
he does.
like,
Yeah,
if
you
there
see
was
that
a-
picture
He
with all the
loves to
If
receipts?
buy-
there's a
Fire.
200 turbo at
Oh,
Orleans
yeah.
right now,
Yeah, but
Yeah.
he wouldn't just skip out. Like he would tell us.
Maybe
I
he's
gotta
running
play-
deep in the daily.
I gotta play
I
these
call
6
those
events
receipts
today.
from like tournaments. I call it the graveyard because like they just can't be redeemable and they're not
Right.
worth anything. Conrad's got a pretty sick graveyard
His-
for 2.5 weeks.
How does he have so many receipts?
He plays
You
everything.
lose and you try again.
I mean, how much do you think all those receipts are like added up?
Probably 15K.
I'll take over.
Whoa, way more than that.
Over.
Well, there's smaller tournaments like 200s,
Don't care.
500s.
I'll
They're
take
not-
over.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Some of them might be like multiple copies.
I think he's already played 30 events.
Yeah, he has.
Oh, at
That's
least.
insane.
Really?
Yeah.
Because he plays like 3 in one day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he busts them
multiple
really, really
bullets.
quick.
Yeah, he busts them
he'll
very
like
quick.
max late reg, be
How-
out in an orbit, and then in the next one, and then out, and looking for the next.
How is he playing 3 tournaments if the WSOP only has a single re-entry?
I just want to know how he afford
He's
the
going to
gas to
different
get from venue to venue.
Because he'll go to like the Orleans.
He's moving.
Then he'll go to the MGM. And the MGM has like things that start at like 12 a.m.
Yeah.
12 p.m.
Someone said
Oh,
he's
Oh, yeah,
in,
yeah, 12 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, just kidding. Okay, they were trolling. Someone said he was in the South Point Daily right now. They were trolling.
Oh,
him.
look, the South Point's real. I was there yesterday. I never got above a starting stack.
Wow.
You went to the
They
South
got
Point?
me. Yeah,
That's the worst feeling ever, unless you
Yeah.
bust fast. Like, if you just play
So-
100 big blind all in pot.
I busted
whatever.
like 3 hours in.
I'm not gonna lie, this bet is gonna be maybe interesting because when I was commentating, I sort of like, I felt a little bit inspired.
Yes.
a little bit.
You'll feel that for like 2 events,
Right, and then
then you're done.
I'll play
you're just
to
like, this is the worst
I'll
thing ever.
bust like flush over flush or something.
No, you want to know
you
how
stone bubble.
You want to know how I'll keep you motivated? I'm just going to show the winners here every single day, and you just be like, he won, I can win.
But you can't.
No,
No,
that doesn't work
You're
for
not
me.
chosen.
That
Melissa,
honestly doesn't
anybody
work
can
for me
win.
because I see these. I know what you mean, and I do feel that way sometimes. But then I'm like, yeah, but like they did something in their past life.
Melissa, look at this Monster Stack winner. He just won $1 million.
I know.
He won $1 million yesterday, and he did a fucking backflip off of the Poker Go stage.
legend.
Not even off the stage. He did it off the
Can
table.
we look at
this.
his like
Look
Hunting
at this.
Mom?
Woo!
I want to know how.
Let's go.
Backflip.
Yeah, that's
Let's
sick.
go back.
I'm
Woo!
Of
so
course, you
excited.
can backflip would be really ambitious. If you fucked up
amazing.
backflip.
I think
I mean,
climbing
that-
on an RFID
imagine
table
he-
was
No,
really
that's-
ambitious.
Imagine he
amazing.
does a backflip,
I love
just
to
cracks
see
his
that.
head open, and that's it.
People tried that before, and they like got an MCL injury. Like Boosted J did that. He tried the little like
So he-
celebration.
All he did
he's-
was stand up.
You're saying that he's
No, he
athletic.
stood up and he was like, yeah, yeah. And
Yeah, he was
And then all of
jumping.
a sudden, he's like limping. He's like halfway down WPT Island over there. And he's just out. Next, and then they have to bring him in. He's like this. He's like, putting a hand and shit.
It's true. He tore his ACL.
I mean, some people are chosen and some aren't. When
But he
Scott
did
played
it
the
after
flip
he
and
won.
go.
So it didn't matter.
No, he didn't even win the tournament. I don't even think he won. It was just like at the final table.
No.
It was at the final table.
Oh,
It was at the
okay.
final table with WPT, and he won it all in. It was like celebrating with the rail, and then he fell down. He was chosen to fall.
Oh wait, I think I saw that.
Sports injury.
Yeah,
Speaking
but
of being
it wasn't
chosen,
even
yeah.
really that much of like he wasn't doing that.
What the
Stop.
Whoa,
Okay,
Landon.
get out, leave.
It's just insane.
Landon's shooting up. Bro.
What's going on? Is he doing roids?
He's
No.
shooting up. He's shooting up.
Who gave you
now
the
it all
TRT?
makes
sense,
Yeah,
bro,
now it all
because-
makes sense.
Because
Give
he's
him back
been a
his
little
sleeves.
bit. He's
Someone
been
give
a
him
little
back
bit
his sleeves.
spicy for the last.
He's been like
6
roid
weeks.
rage.
Fucking shoot his sleeves off of his shirt.
I just can't take it, man.
They
What
can't
is
take
going
it. The
on?
roid rage is kicking in.
Yeah,
He's been shooting,
it's
bro.
all happening.
Did
Wow.
he speak to him about this?
Do you go in the ass? Is that how it works?
No,
Oh,
Or
he's
do you-
mad,
You
bro.
put it in the arm
no,
because you're a man.
no.
I think he puts it straight into his heart.
I don't know.
No, I mean, I was just like trying to say something for a couple minutes and just got interrupted twice, and I'm just not going to do it. It's okay. No worries. No problem.
Oh, he
No
got
problem.
Man.
No
There's
problem.
a lot of us, man.
Yeah, there's a lot of us. We all get interrupted.
Was it
like,
important?
No.
Join the club, man.
Have you
It's
ever?
never that important.
Exactly.
It's never that important.
I haven't been able to say a word.
I know. I've been barely able to get a word.
a word in 3 weeks.
I know you guys are
I'm on
talking
the
about
thumbnail
here.
today, and I can barely say a sentence. So join the fucking club, man.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I can't be upset about it.
Go be
That's
upset
true.
somewhere else.
That's true.
I don't like this energy.
Oh man.
really just was like.
That's
Why
not
are we
creatine
slamming? Why are we
energy.
slamming our fists and stuff? You know.
He really almost.
So there's a 3K
He
today.
almost broke his hand slamming it
I
so
didn't break my
hard.
hand. I'm fine.
Broke the chair.
It's crazy.
Testosterone, man. He's got that high
Man,
T.
bro.
Let's go.
Yo, your balls shrink when you take steroids, bro.
It's a fine trade-off. Who cares about the size of your balls? There's nothing at all important about your balls.
I don't
No
know.
girl.
Wait, what?
To have kids, sure, but like no girl is like, wow. Let me tell
No,
you about the
I mean-
size of
Yeah,
his
but
balls.
they're obscenely small.
Yeah,
it
if
looks
they're
weird.
like, is they're like non-existent, I would be like a little bit jarred.
Would you? Wouldn't you just
Yes.
prefer no balls?
No,
Why?
because it's weird.
But they're hideous.
So is a penis.
Sure, but it's a little bit more
The
aesthetic.
whole
It's a little
thing
more
going
sleek.
on down there that you guys have is
How do
not
we
attractive
always-
Listen,
looking.
listen.
Well, yeah,
it's
this
a
is
lot
like-
more
all
sleek
right.
without the balls.
What are we talking about right
You
now?
would rather have a penis
Yeah,
with no
why?
balls.
I wouldn't rather anything. I'm just saying, if I were thinking of this from the female perspective, I would assume balls just get in the way
You thought about this
what?
way too much.
of everything, just literally everything. Like they're just there. They're this unnecessary saggy bag that's
yeah,
wrinkly.
they're necessary, but
well,
yeah.
well, they're necessary for reproduction, sure,
Uh-huh.
but like from an
It's
aesthetic
just
standpoint.
reproduction.
Well, it's just another thing there. you
Like
know?
imagine if your ovaries were just on the outside of your
But,
vagina.
yeah. Well, the fact that balls are not like internal is weird to
That's
me.
what I'm saying.
But it's for temperature reasons.
Yeah. But like, whenever their most necessary function is taking place, they do get sucked up in.
Yeah.
Bro.
And then
Not
and
all
you
the
get that-
way.
you get that nice
Not all
sleek
the
look.
way in.
Huh?
Not all the way.
I mean, pretty much. Like it shrivels and
do they
whatever.
shrink in size or do they actually go inside?
They go inside.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
Your ball's small.
What are you talking about?
They don't go inside.
Yeah, the sack like condenses and it pulls it up inside your body.
So your sexual preference is a man with no balls.
No,
Mine
that's
is
not what I
not.
said. I'm just saying that the aesthetics of it seem a lot cleaner than this weird dual punching bag that's just like slapping
in the
around
wind,
and
yeah.
swinging in the breeze.
Yeah.
And also like
I get where you're coming
for
from.
everyday life, they are a fucking hassle.
But it feels so good when the girl does stuff there.
It really doesn't.
All right, whatever.
It doesn't feel
so
like
there's
good.
two opinions.
I mean,
I've heard chins more.
Yeah, for sure.
Corey just said, "What the fuck are we doing here, group?" Seriously.
Garage.
I've been trying to think of some way to change this topic, but
look, we gotta flesh this out. Okay?
I think
there
we
are a lot of
fleshed it
problems
out.
here.
No
There are a lot
pun
of problems here.
intended.
It's important.
They
Where did this start? All because you fucking slammed your head.
I know. Talk about the tangents.
The domino
You're like,
effect.
bang. We're like, whoa,
Yeah,
steroids.
back.
Yeah, he bangs it. He bangs the thing, and all of a sudden we're talking about balls.
look. There's
Welcome back, Melissa. The chat
back.
says, like,
Yeah.
There's a lot of problems with them, right? They're very sensitive. Okay, so like, yeah, sure, maybe there's a certain aspect of pleasure, but like, it's a very fine line, and you can cross that line and becomes very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But also, just in everyday life, they're such a goddamn hassle.
I know,
You're
I
playing
think about
sports.
that. Yeah.
You gotta like find a way to just keep them out of the way. They stick to your leg. You know, it's just a lot
I
of
know.
funk
I
going
couldn't
on down
imagine.
there.
I mean, I think about that, and I'm like, that's just. I'm so
Yeah.
glad I don't have stuff hanging in between my legs.
Like the shit that gets girls pregnant is just on the exterior of our body.
it's just hanging around,
Right.
and like you walk, you sit, like it's
Yeah.
really in the way of a lot of
It's in
stuff.
a lot of ways. And you're vulnerable there.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
Like, you go to self-defense class as a woman, and the first thing they teach you is, like, how to knee a dude in the balls.
Yes, yeah.
Like, come on. I vote,
3/5 of this
So
podcast
Berkey-
is just sitting here like this.
Berkey's anti-ball.
I vote that we eliminate the balls.
Berkey's anti-balls. He's
I like to
starting
keep
his.
my balls. That would be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean-
let's try that.
I don't know. I
You're
think the
trying it right now.
size of ball doesn't really matter too much.
That was what I was
But
ultimately
if
getting
it's
at.
like not there, I would be like, "What's up? Like, you okay? Or like, did you have some condition? Or we
One
get these
nut
things
crack.
removed? Like, what's going on here?"
There was a baseball player in the 80s and 90s, John Kruk, and he had testicular cancer, and they had to remove one of his balls. And for the latter half of his career, he was referred to as one nut Kruk.
Yeah.
Wow.
Bro, everyone
Well,
that got
FYI.
their balls removed probably wants them back. Like Lance Armstrong probably wants his balls back. For sure.
Maybe. You think he'd
Should
get
we
back
ask
on
him?
those Tour de France's to have his ball back?
He was also on steroids.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
that's my
probably
point.
does
Watch out,
get in
Landon.
the way of like bicycling a
Watch
lot.
out.
Yeah, that's also probably how he lost his balls. Or
Not
maybe just
Chris
sitting on
Krug,
them all day.
Jesus.
Not Chris Kruk. No. John Kruk. Chris Kruk's balls are intact as far as I know.
He's busy getting wrecked in Bobby's. Yeah.
Big
He'll
shout
be
out
all
to
right.
Chris Kruk.
Sorry, Chris. Sorry to hear.
Why does that make you laugh so much, bro?
Because I imagine that he's not watching and someone's just going to shoot him a link that just has me saying, Chris Kruk's balls are intact as far as I know.
Bingo. Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh man, bro, this is insane, bro. Yo, don't do that anymore. Don't slam your
Look what happened.
It's just a random wheel. Like you punch the chair and you get a random top.
This is precisely what happens when Melissa comes back. I've been holding it in for 2 weeks. I'm
Yes,
so
let's go.
happy to have you back.
This is the content.
These guys are all wet blankets, man.
Yeah,
I'm here to talk
boring.
about size of balls.
Boring. Let's talk about balls.
Must be the middle of the World Series. It's just
Oh my god, bro. Yo,
Or
what
the
are the
dog days
topics
of summer.
today?
I don't know. Some shit's going down. Star-studded 25K table today. My man that was going to save my fantasy team, Jay Merce, bubbled the TV final table.
nice run though, right?
Yeah.
Just come back, just get a 6th place finish.
First event.
$250,000 score.
First event, no big deal. Pick up 5 buy-ins.
Yeah.
Honestly, how
whatever.
do people do that?
They're good at
People
games.
don't do that. Jason Mercier
Yeah,
says
that's true.
that.
That is true.
No, people do this shit. Like, remember Steven Chidwick? He was like, I think I'll just max late
Nope.
reg this
He's
tournament.
also a unicorn.
Yeah, I think it was last year or the year before. He's like, I think I'm just gonna max late reg this tournament. You know,
Yeah.
I just got off the plane. Wins.
He wins it.
It's
yeah.
like what?
Whoa.
Bro, I've been sitting here with 30 big blinds for a whole day.
The big thing is that he's capable of winning.
Yeah, we're not capable.
We're not sure that
Yeah.
we are.
Right.
We're not.
hasn't quite been established yet.
Yeah. I'm just gonna go back to Balog.
Lot of names at this final table. It's 50K PLO. Ben Lamb,
Yes, Ben.
second in chips, I believe.
Is he on your
second
team?
in chips.
Let's go.
Shit,
He's on
is
my team in
he-
different ways.
Okay, got you.
What's up, Ben?
The man, the myth himself, Blez, sports card, Jared
Yes,
Blesnick.
Blez out here.
He's quite short. He has 11 big blinds.
You'll be all right.
Dash Dudley, actually, at the final table of this.
Dash Dudley too. Dash is
What
out
is
here
this,
too,
like,
baby.
Dash-
dark side
Yo,
table?
Dash always wins these PLO things.
He made a big splash in the 25K PLO. I think it was 2018. He got second or third. Michigan guy. Corey knows him well, or at least knows him somewhat. Robert Cohen from the UK is in there, third in chips with 53 bigs. And the chip leader, player's name I cannot pronounce and will not.
No, you gotta try.
Come on,
No,
you
you
gotta give it a
gotta
try.
try.
Give it
No.
a try.
You
No,
gotta,
give the
because
dude what they
here's
want.
the thing.
Spell it.
It's a negative free roll for me.
Don't matter.
I'm
It's not a negative free roll for the audience.
the fact that I
Yeah,
don't know
that's-
how to
it's-
pronounce it is
yeah.
disrespectful to this man, and me butchering it is even more disrespectful.
Let's
Say
So
let's not
good
pretend
luck,
it's about
KV
that.
Come on,
or
man.
VK. God damn it, I didn't even get it
Yeah,
in the
you
right
just
order.
try.
Good luck. Good luck, VK. I'm rooting for you. I hope you do well because these other guys are on fantasy teams that I'm up against. So knock them all out.
How do you say his name?
Come on,
Landon?
man.
Yeah, just
Try.
It's not my
You
job.
gotta try. Kariktovat.
What? No. See that?
What?
You can't just put a Spanish accent on a Russian name and pretend like you got it right.
Sure you can. You just did it.
What?
I mean,
That's
you
it.
did just do it.
What is it gonna do? I'm trying. At least I tried.
Kariktovat.
Trying's not good enough.
Kariktovat.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah. There you go. What if he says, "Oh, he got it right"?
You'd be like, perfect.
Dude, I'm a linguist.
You are not a linguist.
Eso es lo que tú crees. Pero yo sé todo. You see? You don't even know shit. I'm a linguist.
I can't wait to rewatch this with subtitles on so I know what the hell you're talking about.
I won't even tell you. I'll tell you at the end.
Sure. Big day for us. 3K 6 max today. Super pumped.
Super turbo.
Super turbo.
Super pumped, super turbo.
Playing 87 levels today.
87 levels. It's actually an Ironman event. So you register at 3 p.m. and you don't leave until somebody has it all.
There's no
Sometime
dinner
Friday.
break. You have to eat a whole raw onion,
Right.
or else
did
you're
you
eliminated.
just tweet this?
Yeah. No, I tweeted this thread in fucking February because I did my due diligence and looked at the schedule and I said, hey, Jack Effel, this structure fucking stinks.
He
And-
loves the stinks word, bro.
And it fell on deaf ears. And now here we are, day of. And I'm regretful that I didn't make a bigger stink out of it because not only does the structure stink for a 3K event, but it's not labeled a turbo, which is, why. This is literally a turbo structure.
They don't name any of the 30-minute levels turbos.
Yes, they do.
Oh, all these Friday events are turbos. They
No,
don't call
some
it turbo.
some aren't
they're not.
labeled.
Colossus is a turbo.
Colossus isn't 30 minutes. It's 40.
Okay.
They're all 40 minutes.
Housewarming, turbo.
40 minutes.
30 minutes.
But it changes to 60.
Change
It's 36.
so
change
this
it to
stays
40.
30 the whole way.
It's 30 40, but it's a
30-40.
2-day event. Housewarming was
30-40
a
is
5-day
turbo.
event.
Got it.
So this is a 2-day event. It's clearly a turbo. Like the only difference is it goes 30-40 instead of 30 straight throughout. But like the 1Ks on Sundays are turbos. They're 30 minutes straight up. So like it's annoying that it's misadvertised because there are going to be a lot of people who expect to show up and play like deep stack 6 max, and they're disappointed when they find out that it's just an Uber turbo. But the real problem that I didn't really realize in the moment, because you kind of have to play one of these structures to figure it out.
Right.
And we learned it the hard way in the 1500 6 max, which I've been complaining about since, is that the structure doesn't account for the hour-long bubble that's going to take place.
Right.
So this is a 3 p.m. start with a scheduled 11 and a half hour day.
That's
It's already ending at 2:30,
Why they give... Go ahead. I'll let you finish.
which is
that.
annoying, right? But like whatever, we signed up for this. We can live with some late days. It's a 2 p.m. restart, so at least you get good turnaround time. However, We are never fucking ending at 2:30 today.
No shot.
No shot. There is going to be a 45-minute to hour-long bubble
Yep.
that is going to extend the day at least until 3:30.
Yep.
Almost certainly. And it's just like, okay, you don't give a shit.
No.
That's literally what it comes down to, is like, you just literally don't give a shit about your patrons. You just say they're going to keep showing up, they're going to keep paying rake, and no one's going to care.
Doesn't look like there's anything labeled as a turbo on the schedule.
Unless
There's
it's
super
super
turbos,
turbo.
and the super turbos are 20
Why
minutes.
does it start at
Yeah.
3?
That's what I'm saying. Nothing is labeled. turbo.
Right.
What's
super
the
turbo.
noon event today that this starts at 3? Is it a no limit?
The noon event
I don't think it's a no limit.
I don't think it's a no limit either. I think it's like maybe
It's a horse. It's
Yeah,
a
1500 horse.
1500 horse.
yeah.
And it starts at 11.
Yeah, it is weird that those two aren't flipped.
Yeah.
But usually the bigger buy and no limits do start in the afternoon.
Okay.
Like the 5Ks tend to run at 3 o'clock.
Yeah, but when you're gonna schedule it this way, when you're gonna run 27 levels or whatever.
Well, so that's the thing, right?
yeah, 21
So that
levels.
there's a perfect example. So the 3K no limit started at 3 o'clock. Maybe it started at 3 o'clock. And like the 5K no limits will start at 3 o'clock. They're hour levels. So you play 8, right? And you have 3 breaks. So it's 45 minutes worth of breaks. So it's like a 9-hour day.
Hey,
and there's no bubble because obviously it's a longer event. It's going to be 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
So you literally start at 3 and you're out of there at 12:45. Instead of starting at 3 and getting out of there at 3:15 or 3:30.
to be determined. When
Yeah,
you get out
maybe
of there.
4 a.m. Who fucking knows? Like, I know it's unlikely that the bubble lasts longer than an hour, but it depends how big the field gets. The 1500 six max bubble was incredibly long, and we only played 8 hands. So
the
it took
bubble is
like,
guaranteed today. I'm not guaranteed, but you.
I mean, it's a 2-day event. It's 100%.
two-day
Oh,
event.
it's a 2-day event. Yeah.
The 1500 six max was a 3-day event, and we hit the bubble 4 levels before ending.
Yeah.
So it's just like, this is negligence in my opinion, because like it's a complete oversight of the fact that the bubble takes fucking time, and the time does not come off the clock. So they do it right. They do the 2-minute runoff, which is great. But if you're talking about like, you know, a 300-man bubble, 400-man bubble, something like that, that's probably a lot. It's probably not going to get 2,000 runners.
Starting at like 200 people in the bubble, 1 to 200.
Yeah, probably like if it gets 1,000 runners, it'll be like 150 on the bubble.
Yeah.
But still, you're talking about, you know, it's 6 max, so you're still talking about 20 plus tables.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It takes time. And it's like if we play 10 hands, which is only 20 minutes and not a full level, that might take a solid hour
An
easily. You know,
hour in a turbo.
Because you have to wait for the
Bust the
all-in
bubble.
calls.
they just you have to remember on the bubble they just pause the clock, do a 2-minute runoff. Every hand doesn't actually take 2 minutes,
No.
Yeah.
right? It takes a long time to get through 20 tables of.
Yeah, but I don't think the bubble will last 10 hands. This one.
Oh, why not?
Because people are gonna be short because it's a turbo, and it's like people are just gonna be forced to get their money, and it's just gonna.
I mean, it's possible, but it depends. Yeah, I don't know. It could be 1 hand. It could be 10 hands.
Point
It's
is, like, the
difficult to know.
structure is set up for inconvenience to all the people that are there.
Oh right.
You're going to be there at least till 2, maybe 3, and it's just not.
Right,
it's
like
not
one of the most.
And when's the restart?
2, which is fine. Like the turnaround time is at least decent. But like the most ridiculous aspect of this is squeezing in the 21st level, because not only are you adding like now this extra 30-minute level, but there's also now a
Like
15-minute break
right
prior.
before it, which maybe they won't even do. That's dumb.
No, they
Yeah.
do.
They're gonna make you go on a 15-minute break and
They
then
do.
play
They
30
did the same
minutes.
thing in the 1500
They
six
do.
max.
Just-
They
that's-
do that. It's a strange setup.
It's so
very
asinine. It's just like
I thought
beyond
it was
ridiculous.
strange. 'Cause there was one of the tournaments where it was set up similar. It was the monster stack where it looked like you were gonna like take a break and then just play 1 hour level, and I thought that was bad.
Yeah.
And then this is like 15-minute break and then play 30 minutes. Why even give that 15-minute break? Just play it out.
Why push for that extra level?
Or yeah, no, I mean,
Right?
obviously that's the best.
You just
solution.
end it.
Yeah, you can end like almost an hour sooner.
Yeah,
Yeah.
45
By-
minutes sooner at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes even more
Because
because
the break lasts longer.
well, you just do X amount of hands at the end, so it doesn't always take the full 10 minutes. And
Yeah.
you just bag and tag. Like
Yeah.
you could save a minimum 45 minutes, sometimes closer to an hour. And it's
Right.
like, what are we doing here? I just don't understand how you can get this stuff so wrong. Like this, you can call it an oversight when it happens once in a while, but it's like year in and year out, these would be the number one bullet points that I would be considering if I were building structures. Like, what's the length of day? What's the likelihood of hitting the bubble on that day? How much time on average is that bubble going to add? How can I reduce the length of day without extending the overall duration of the tournament? Like, this is a 2-day event. It's not like cutting that final level at the end of the day is going to somehow extend day 2 into day 3.
It's like tomorrow's Thursday. It's not like they need the tables or something. Like,
no, I mean, obviously they just want to they just want to end it. Well, they don't want it to be a 3-day event extending into Friday because Friday's Colossus.
Also, I think there's other events going on now too, like the Win and the Venetian. Is that any factor?
No, WSOP released their schedule first.
Okay.
Everybody else builds around it. And my best guess is that the other venues saw this as an opportunity of like, they're going to take all the traffic on the weekend with Colossus. So let's have our day 2 and day 3 be running on the weekend. And look, they gave us an opportunity because they're trying to wrap up all the no limit events prior to the Colossus. So they stuck a 3K turbo in there, which means that we can put in similar price points and capture people who want to play for a longer duration. So it's like, I get why they did a turbo. They just want to wrap, six-handed games take up more table space.
right. And there's 3 tournaments tomorrow.
Okay.
So, I mean, maybe they are trying to conserve as much space as possible.
What's the no limit tomorrow?
The 1500 freeze out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
That's cool.
Yeah, but that's also, that's pretty sharp because they'll hit the bubble day 1.
Yeah.
And it's no reentry or whatever. So like, they'll lose 75 or 85% of the field.
Everybody will play.
And then everybody will play the Colossus moving forward. The 15% that makes day 2 is happy. They'll fire Colossus on Saturday when they bust, et cetera, et cetera. Like, I get why they're scheduling it this way. I'm just saying that it seems very easy to have a short bullet pointed list of player considerations when you're building out structures, right? Like, there's just no chance in hell that more than 10% of the field bags today.
Yeah.
I'd be shocked if more than like 7% of the field bags today. And if that's the case, then it doesn't really matter about that extra hour at the end of the day that you've tacked on, right?
Yeah.
Because if you bag 7% or 9%, the event's still going to end in a timely manner on day 2.
I believe Ronnie Barter brought up in one of his Instagram stories about like the turnaround time too, because I forget which tournament he was playing in. It might have been the Monster Stack.
It was
it ended.
It was the housewarming. The housewarming ended.
Yeah.
So day 1D.
No, this was after that, but I'm sure it's a similar situation where it's like you have like a 9-hour turnaround, and it's just like it's by the time you get home and then
the housewarming was so much worse. It ended at 2:30 in the morning on day 1D, and day 2 started at 10 a.m.
Yeah, so you had 7.5 hours.
Yeah,
So
not counting like bagging and tagging, travel time.
7.5 hours from when the clock.
Was everyone dead?
I mean, not everybody played 1D.
Oh.
But some percentage of the field that
big
got
disadvantage for
it was the biggest field.
playing.
It was the biggest field. It was the most people.
It was the biggest field for sure. But everybody who bagged those days prior.
I think he was saying like
they
should just try to structure it where you have like a minimum of 12-hour turnaround.
Yeah, I mean even 10, whatever. I get it, man. They have a lot of things to cover, but
right.
This is simple as building protocols, which clearly don't exist here. Right? There's clearly no list of protocols that say we won't have a day extend over X amount of hours. We won't have turnaround time be less than Y. We won't rake more than Z%, right? Like these protocols clearly just are non-existent and are kind of happening on the fly, where it's just like more so looking at the schedule as, okay, well, we have to have all of the people from the No Limit events busting prior to the Colossus so that we can funnel them into the big major event on Friday. So what we're going to do is we're going to make whatever event we run on Wednesday a turbo. What makes sense to put in there? Well, we haven't hit the 3K price point yet. We already did a long 3K that was 9-handed or 8-handed, whatever. So let's just fit in a 6 max here. Where it's just like, actually, the shootout would have been a great placement here, right? Because it's already an event that's going to be relatively on the smaller side, and it ends very structurally. Right. So like shootouts are insanely easy to time because it's just a sit and go, sit and go, sit and go. Right. So it's like it takes up very minimal space. It takes up fewer resources than any other event that you're going to run. the vast of the field is going to be busted by day 2. So you've already lost 90% of the field going into day 2, and then you've lost 99% of the field going into day 3.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like the easiest thing to push through, but instead they put that earlier. So it's like whatever. I mean, I'm not trying to be overly critical. I'm just saying it's frustrating from the player standpoint where it's like, don't bring this stuff up in May and June and July because it's too late for us to make any adjustments. It's like, okay, well, we didn't this time. We brought it up in February because we've heard those complaints in the past. And, you know, it's been a lot of, fine, you want us to do a little bit more work on our end prior to actually the event presenting itself? We'll do that. We'll actually get to the point where we're doing more work. And all that happens is no change, right? And it's like, to me, it's frustrating when it's avoidable. And this isn't happening in other venues. That's the most crazy thing in the world to me. It's like, you just don't ever go to the Wynn and expect to play a 15-hour day. Ever. Ever.
Never.
Yeah, it's
literally never.
It's not an oversight. Like, it was completely sought.
Right.
Like, we saw this one.
Right. The only times I've ever had this happen in other venues is Planet Hollywood, which was run by a guy who was completely incompetent, and he made a day 2 11-handed because he fucked up. And then he had like 16-hour long days again because he fucked up. And as far as I know, like, he probably doesn't work there anymore because they don't even have a poker room. Shocker. Right? That's what happens when there's incompetence at the top.
Yeah.
And Venetian, I don't know if this is still true, but like there have been times throughout the last 10 years where the deep stacked events like seemingly went over for one reason or another, right? Like they wanted to get down to a certain amount of people and TD discretion like forced it into a 14, 15-hour day. But it's so very rare. It's so rare that we have structure problems in any sort of venue outside of WSOP. And I get it. They're putting on a massive festival with hundreds of events and no one else is
trying to squeeze in as many events as possible, which, is what the players want. They want the options. They want the...
They do, but like it grows year over year. If you're adding 10% more events every single year, it doesn't have to be at our cost. Nobody's out there saying like, man, we need 150 bracelet events next year or else. Like they're doing that because the revenue is there.
Yeah.
They're doing it because they can house the players. They're doing it because it benefits the WSOP more than anybody else.
It seems like it's possible to just like extend the series a couple more days anyways, if that's like part of the problem.
Sure.
It's like a structural issue. It's like, okay, if we're ending halfway through the middle of July, change that to like nearing the end of July, right?
Yeah.
Just have enough time to have the turnaround that's kind of necessary.
Yeah, I think it's really frustrating too for players who come out. Like they look at the schedule as prelims and postlims, right? And put the main event as the staple event that they're building
before
around.
And after the main.
Yeah. So it's just like, it's very frustrating for a lot of people who schedule their trip to play prelims and the main.
Yeah.
And then plan to like mostly leave.
Yeah.
To now be handed like poor structures.
Right.
Like put your turbos after the main. Like everybody's willing to accept the postlims are going to be fast. They're going to be 2-day events. Like, you're breaking down the series a lot. You're at this point, you've lost a lot of dealers, you've lost a lot of staffing along the way, whatever.
Right.
Like we're accepting of the fact that resources are a lot more tight after the main event and there's less incentive for you to put on mass scale events.
Right.
But if we can all agree that the biggest population of people who are in town to play poker are pre-main event, then make that your best structures.
Right.
Make that your most incentive player friendly payouts. Like I would just be bending over backwards to make June 1st to July 8th,
whenever the main
the best experience possible, right? And then everything thereafter is for the pros. The amateurs aren't scheduling trips for post-main event.
Right. No one really has I'm going to go to the series after the main event. That sounds like a blast, and it is, but it's not why you go in the first place.
Right. Very few people, I think, are scheduling their trips for, I'm going to get in July 1st, play the main event, and then whatever events are going on thereafter, I'm going to stick around.
Right. Because most people go home. You just go home.
Right. And it's like for the other venues, I would flip it. I would do the exact opposite. I would back end my schedule to be so meaty post main event.
Yeah.
Because there will be a lot of people who stick around to value hunt and chase losses and everything else and say, I don't want to play turbos.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like you immediately find a soft spot in the WSOP schedule where you could say, like, we can offer much better value events and we can house really big, really big fields like the Wynn specifically. This is where you should be putting all your big guarantees.
Right.
And I guess like maybe like right around the main, there are a lot of people trickling in, June 25th, 26th, 27th, whatever.
You have kind of fun stuff here and there, like the 2200 mystery bounty is going to do really well. I
Right.
love mystery bounties. Like,
Yeah.
and that's going to be probably a 2-day tournament, maybe 3.
Yeah.
But like, it's not a 5-day tournament.
Well, it's specifically in the win schedule where it is because WSOP this week wasn't really offering no limit events that are
Right.
comparable.
Yeah, it was just like the shootout.
It's
6
two
max,
specialized formats in a shootout and a 6 max,
Yeah.
and then a 1500
Freeze out.
freeze out, but that's post being
Yeah.
able to reg the win.
Right. So they're trying to get everything done because this week, Friday, is the Millionaire Maker. So they're trying to get all
Oh,
that stuff
sorry, I
done.
kept saying Colossus.
Yeah, Colossus is next week.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
This week is Millionaire Maker week. So they're trying to get everything done before that because most people are going to go
Yeah.
play the Millionaire Maker. 'Cause
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can win $1 million.
Yeah, which is
in the
sharp.
name.
I get that. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
That's what grinds my gears.
It's just so.
That's
it's just
what
such
really
a simple
chaps
one.
my ass, as you say.
It does.
It's just such a simple one to like not get wrong. Like if you're gonna call it a 5K or like a 3K 6 max, and you say it's a turbo, like sure. But like if you're gonna say it's a 3K and every other structure is like multiple day long, and this one's gonna be a 21 level, kind of just you're here till you starts at 3, ends at 4. See you tomorrow.
Well, I mean,
Can we
Go ahead,
predict
go ahead.
this? I want to kind of switch a little bit to this $1 million bounty.
Ooh.
Do we predict that there's going to be some gripes because that bounty is likely to be bigger than first place money?
Yeah.
Oh, it will be for sure.
So it could be someone could literally pull that bounty
that's
day 2,
okay. Yeah.
Right.
immediately
At the
bust,
beginning
So this is
of
a
day
good
2.
question.
and then
There's
like
a-
Well, this is
first
a good
place
question.
will be way less than
How much of the prize pool is going to the bounties? Half?
30%,
30%?
I believe so.
Okay.
They think they said 300 out of the thought.
I mean, how much left is there going to be in the bounty prize pool after that
That's what
million?
I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah,
That's a
so-
big number.
Yeah, but I think that's. I mean, I think that's predicated on their expectation, right? So I assume that they're expecting to get 10 million in the prize pool, and if that's the case, then first
10
place.
million?
Yeah,
What's the
They're gonna
buy-in?
get 10,000
Yeah, I don't know. dude. That's
10,000
pretty
entries.
It's a
huge.
1K.
yeah.
A 1K?
That's a lot.
10,000?
It's like 5 starting days.
It's not on a week. Is it on a weekend?
It's literally the last event before the main event.
Thousands a lot. But okay.
Why? Why do you say that? We got 20,000 for the 500.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't know. I mean, it just feels like a lot, I guess. But all right.
Well, it
I mean, it's
seem-
possible.
I don't think 1K and 500 are different
Okay.
price points.
Okay, so here's how it works. $300 from each buy-in will go towards the bounty pool.
Okay,
So
30%. Yeah.
Bounties will begin on day 2. Players will draw a random bounty prize for every player they eliminate. Top bounty prize is guaranteed to be $1 million. Bounties cannot be redeemed until after 4 p.m. on day 2.
Okay. So if what I'm saying is correct and they get a $10 million prize pool, that's a $3 million bounty prize pool. So yeah, 1/3 of it is going to one bounty, and that's big, obviously. You would never put a third of a field that large to first place, but there's still going to be plenty of other large bounties remaining from the 70% of the bounty pool left.
How
So
many
there's still
starting days is it?
I think it's like 4 or 5.
4 flights?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. I mean, 4 flights, they probably will get 10,000 runners.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a 10K event for us.
What day is it?
When does it start?
Yeah, what
The
day is it?
first, I think.
Flight A is July 2nd,
Second.
12
Okay.
p.m. start.
All right, but still, okay, but I still think that bounty's going to be bigger than first.
It won't. It shouldn't.
I
If
bet
it's
you that golden rule is about to get in effect bigger than
Golden
first.
ratio.
Golden
so that would put 7 million remaining in the prize pool, right?
No way you're going to $1 million.
Yeah.
It-
I mean,
No
it should
way.
be. Well,
Where?
okay. So here's the thing. I again would agree that it probably should not be $1 million to first if it's 10 million in the prize pool total, because I like the idea of a more flat final table.
Right.
I think like it being 700 to first and us seeing a similar payout to what I proposed for the 500 housewarming makes a hell of a lot more sense. And yeah, that would suck that there's an outlier bounty, but that's just going to be the nature of the beast anyway, because there's going to be a bounty that's going to represent a third of the prize pool. However, there's an outside chance that this gets 20,000 runners, right?
Yeah.
I
Very
don't think they
outside
could fit
chance.
it. I don't think they could fit it.
I would be.
Why couldn't they fit it? They fit it for the monster or for the housewarming. What's the difference?
That it was the only event running.
No.
The housewarming, it was the event of the weekend. There was nothing
Yeah.
really
Yeah, it was
else
the
going.
marquee event. It wasn't the only thing running. There were high rollers all through the.
Yeah, but a high roller is a really small field.
Okay, what else do you think's running here?
Well,
Well, I guess we'll find out.
I mean, the issue, because if I look at the schedule sheet, like They're running the main and this $1 million bounty at kind of around the same time.
Around the same time, yeah.
Day 1A of the main is July 3rd. Day 1A of the $1 million bounty is July 2nd.
Okay.
So there's a lot of stuff going on.
But 1A and 1B of the main event are perennially the lowest.
Right, less
and they
entries.
will be they will hit historic lows this year.
You think so?
100%.
Why?
Because of the $1 million bounty.
Yeah.
No one outside of people who don't think that their time is worth playing a 1K is going to play 1A or 1B of the main.
So here's what I'll ask you. Do you think that it's possible that flight D of the main might be 10-handed? Or it'll sell out?
There has been.
I don't think it will
like
sell out. I do think it'll be 10-handed.
It has been.
Would you rather play a 9-handed main or a 10-handed main?
9, but I would rather play 10 and the mystery bounty than the opposite.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I think they probably should have started the mystery bounty a day sooner.
Yeah.
Hey, Turtles
okay, let's
like
take the
10-handed
average
poker.
of this gets 12,000 runners.
Okay.
At that point, certainly first place won't be $1 million.
Well, let's call the prize pool 12 million post rake.
Okay.
Right. So it's 12,000 and it's 13.
So
it's actually 13,000 runners, but
they already
let's
took
call
their
12.
million.
Yeah.
Got
So
it.
let's call it 12. 12 million prize pool. Right.
Yeah.
4 million will go to the bounties, and 8 million will be remaining in the prize pool. So that's the 8 million remaining is identical to what the housewarming had. So we should see a comparable payout table. But it's fewer people too. So we could see a little bit more top heavy. It might be a lot closer to $1 million the first. And in that instance, now the $1 million guaranteed bounty, it's still again very large, but now it's only a quarter of the prize pool instead of a third. Right.
Okay.
But yeah, here's the thing: like the $1 million guarantee for the bounty is a marketing gimmick,
right?
That I think we can all agree is too big of a percentage of the prize pool for a luck of the draw.
Right.
Right. Effectively, you're taking somewhere between 10 and so it depends how many runners they get, right? But it's going to be somewhere between like 7 and 15% of the total prize pool, and just giving it to one singular person, right? So it's always going to be greater or equal to or greater than first place.
Do you think it's a good or a bad thing?
I think it's a good event. I think it's a good marketing tactic. I think that
why they got to market with our money? Like, just be like, hey, a rake free event one time. Here you go, $1 million.
Less people would show up for a rake free event than
No,
for.
they put the rake back in that bounty.
Well, they will if they don't reach guarantees, right?
No,
Actually, I don't know. How would that
work?
work?
Guaranteed thing. That's not a guarantee, right? The $1 million bounty's not
The
guaranteed.
$1 million bounty, it is.
But the ticket is guaranteed.
The ticket is
But
guaranteed.
it's taken from our prize pool.
But if they get less than 4 million in the prize pool, less than 3 million in the prize
that'll
pool,
never happen.
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
you know, to that degree, they would be giving rate back.
Right. Okay.
No, I
They
think
would
it's a
just
good
have to.
idea. I mean, it's who doesn't want a shot at like a million? Like,
Well,
you know,
we're-
it's a lottery ticket.
We're
at the end of the
speculating
day,
too, right?
and
Like if
people
it
like
ends
to
up
gamble.
if it ends up being 20,000 in the prize pool, then they were spot on in their projections.
Yeah.
Or sorry, not 20,000, 20,000 runners, right? Like now it's going to be more than $1 million to first, and it's going to be like 8% of the total prize pool or 5% of the total prize
I'm
pool.
taking the heavy. I'm
bounty.
taking the heavy under on 20,000.
What are all the
Yeah.
other bounties?
I think we cap at like 12.5.
Do they range? Like, is it just $1 million and then everything else is the
definitely
same?
range. It has
Or
to
is
be
They
it-
range.
Well, they have a payouts schedule, so like
Right.
I don't know what it is,
It's
but
not
let's
like
say it's like a
min-
Like, can
million.
you pull a bounty for like 50K?
For like 20K, yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not going to be $1 million and then min cash bounty, min cash bounty, min cash bounty.
No. Like that's what I'm saying. Like it'll range. Like let's say that there's that they have pre-slated their payout table to be $1 million, 500K, 250, 100, 50, 20, 10, 5. Right. They'll determine the number of each of those bounties
By the
based
prize
off of the bounty prize pool. And I'm just assuming that that's probably close to what the bounty
I don't
payout
think
table is.
I don't think there's a 500,000. But you're just making an example. But
I am, but I don't think that that's.
It's not
I would guess
unreasonable
that there
depending on the
is.
prize pool.
I would guess that there is.
really,
I would bet that there's going to be at least one 500K.
I mean that makes it even more alluring, right? Like
Yeah.
the fact that like, okay, yeah, I mean, there's only 1 million. Man, I could pull it for $500,000 or $250,000 or
Yeah,
100,000.
I would wager that they're going to dedicate half of the bounty prize pool to 100K plus prizes. If I had to guess, That's my personal guess. I don't know for sure what their payout, and it should be transparent. Like we should know, I guess. And maybe that information's out there. I just haven't looked.
If you're playing this tournament and you go all in, you better have it. You're getting called.
You better have it.
You better have it because you're getting called.
You can't tell everyone the tortoise tactics of the trade. You can't talk about the tortoise
Have
tactics.
it.
I'm just saying. You know how you say they always have it? You should always have it in this one.
You always have it even more.
Only on day 2.
Why only on day 2?
Because
Bounties
you have to
start
make
day
day 2 to acquire bounties.
Yeah.
No, I don't think that's what they're saying.
Yeah.
I think
No, it is. That's how
That's how
mystery
bounty
bounties
tournaments
are.
work.
All
so if
mystery
you
bounties
bust somebody on day 1, you don't get a bounty
bounty.
ticket?
Correct.
No.
You have to
No
make
bounty.
the money. In
Oh,
order.
I thought they were saying that,
But you
that
obviously
you
wanna
can't
start with a
redeem
big
it until
stack.
day 2, so someone doesn't pull the $1 million bounty and there's still flights to run.
No, you
No.
have to. You have
that
to make
makes
the
sense,
money.
right?
You have to make
That does
the
make
money.
sense, but that's not how mystery bounties are run.
It's not like
I've never played one, so I
You have to
don't
cash, and then the bounties begin.
Correct.
Well, you're gonna play this one.
know. Yeah.
Yeah, because think of
gives
it
me-
think of it the opposite way. Like if you paid everybody who knocked somebody out, you could never have these big bounties because now you're paying 100% of the field, or you're paying based on 100% of the field.
That, I mean, it makes
you're
so
paying
much more
based on
sense. I was
10%
like,
of the
so
field.
they're giving out $300 for every single.
Oh, that's the other thing, Chin.
Yeah, that makes
Is the assumption is that only 10% of the field will make day 2.
This gives me this vibe of like, you know, when
Vibe check.
when you are like playing low stakes cash and they like take $2 for the bad beat, and then like someone's like people are like, oh my god, the bad beat's 500,000, and they all swarm to
Yeah.
Parks Casino. It's like, dog, you all paid for it. Like you paid for this.
Yeah, that's why you got to swarm. You got to
Oh,
try
you're
to get
right.
that
Yeah, you got
rebate.
it right.
Listen,
Yeah.
man.
No, man.
Gotta
It's
get
like
your money
it's
back
such a
somehow.
gimmick, and it's like, bro,
It
you
is.
You
all
can't be
paid-
the whale that's just paying $2 every hand and then
And also
not
the
showing
games
up when
the
it's
games are
big.
so much better. You
No,
should
I'm
be there.
showing up, of
Yeah.
course, but I'm not showing up.
It is gimmick vibes.
Yeah, it's like I'm not showing up.
I don't think
Like,
anybody's denying that
these
it's a
people out
gimmick.
here, like at the parks, they be playing like the 3-5 suited. They're like, oh, I got the bad beat. Then they don't bet their set because they want to make quads when the other guy has quads. Like,
Yeah.
This is so dumb. Like, what is wrong with you?
Okay, yeah, right.
But I don't know. It just gives me the same vibe of like, all right, we're paying for this $1 million bounty ourselves, and then a 500K bounty ourselves, and everyone's super hyped. And it's like they just took mad money out the prize pool. They took $1 million
Yeah.
in rake, and you guys are still hyping this up like it's like the
But it might not have been in there had it not been for the gimmick advertising.
yeah,
it anyway,
and maybe it's
so.
good. Maybe it's good because recreationals do have a shot to just pull a fucking $1 million.
Yeah.
And,
That's the point.
and
Recreational.
that's
Right.
great. And
I
that's-
think adding variance to the payout structure is
good.
Is a very good thing. I
Yeah.
think that it may be a little bit too top heavy by guaranteeing the $1 million.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like whatever, we'll correct in future iterations. And I think the fact that like we may potentially see a 20,000 person 1K buy-in, that's unique. Like we just
all
haven't
these
seen
gimmick
that.
shits all end up having this weird situation. Remember when it was like the 7-7 or the 888 tournament?
Yeah.
And it was 888,800
Yeah.
whatever.
Wow, that
and then
overlaid-
second place was like
200.
insane.
Yeah.
It was
I'm like,
400K,
what just
yeah.
happened?
Well, it's
They
because of the
very
guarantee.
underestimated how many people did.
Right. So it's like you had this huge first place, 888,000. Second place was in the 2s. And then you don't allow chops. And it's like, all right, like, what's
Yeah,
happening
I mean that
here?
could potentially happen in this scenario with the bounty if they draw out very low numbers. Now I don't think they'll have a 500K because, like I said, I think like half of the bounty prize pool will go to the big prizes.
But then that sucks too, no? You have
Yeah.
one person pulling $1 million, then
But you know
everyone else
what?
putting
You know what would be
20,000.
You know what would
Yeah.
be super
Then
fun?
it just plays like a normal tournament.
My
Kind
man in the million might get robbed.
What?
My man who pulls the million just gets stuck
if
up.
you're on day 2 and you bust somebody, you're gonna get something though,
Yes.
right? No matter
Yeah.
what.
Yeah,
Yes,
but
yes,
guaranteed
yes.
to get something.
But okay, but it's the same. It's like most of them are going to be small, right?
Right. And
then-
300 is the
You get-
minimum you're gonna get, or we don't know.
Don't know.
You get a
Probably not.
$10 gift card to All American Dave's.
Probably not. The smallest one will probably be equivalent to whatever
a cash.
30% of a min cash would be. So if a min cash is like 1,800,
You can get
then
$600.
then the bounty will be like $500.
Yeah.
Is that normal for mystery bounties to have caches that are less than the buy-in itself? It is, right?
What do you mean?
Like if you let's say a buy-in is 2K, the mystery buy-in, like the mystery bounty buy-in tournament is 2K. Do they have $500 bounties in the prize pool?
Yeah, because it's
Okay, right.
your
So-
bounty isn't 2K.
Right.
Your bounty is 700.
Yeah, like it's not a base of two.
Right.
Of
So
your
it'd be
buy-in.
like a
Yeah.
it'd be like a 1K minimum bounty, not a 500.
But it would never be lower than
You're never going to take a loss on the bounty, as far as I understand.
it's never gonna be lower than 300
correct.
because
Correct.
they've taken 300 out of your.
Yes, and I don't even think it will ever be 300
Yeah.
because technically you're in the money, so you're being paid based off the fact that you've
Right.
cashed.
Right.
Um,
Man, I really want to make day 2 in this thing.
yeah, they said Somebody in the chat said it'll
Yeah.
be 600.
Picking off short stacks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think one element of it that becomes a little bit cool here is swapping amongst friends that you make the money with.
That's for sure.
It's nice to have like a sweat.
Of course.
Better
Yeah.
trust that person.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, they pull that $1 million bounty. They halfway to Playa del Carmen. Like, see you later.
Is that why Conrad's not here? He pulled $1 million bounty.
No, I got an update. He was sleeping.
He's
slept.
manifesting. He's manifesting him pulling the million.
Why
Yeah.
are these payout structures so top secret? Like, does Jack Effel just keep a safe? Like, he puts it in, and like, you know how you tie the, what is that? Like, you get
The bracelet, like onto a
on the suitcase,
briefcase
like,
that you have like
literally get-
diamonds in,
yeah,
so
it's
that we
like-
can't run off with it.
Yeah, no one can see this shit.
Yeah,
like in,
I don't get it
Ocean's
either.
11.
It's Ocean's 11 with this fucking structure, bro.
I don't understand why it's not public. I mean, it's under so much scrutiny already. Like, it seems insane to just keep it private. And maybe like they don't feel like they need to put it out there publicly because it gives us. But the thing is like if you do put it out there publicly, we could scrutinize it in February instead of now.
Yeah.
And at least like as much as I'm complaining about the 3K 6 max, like
You know it's coming.
I put my gripes out in February, so it's like how much can I really double down on it now other than just complaining I wasn't listened to?
Yeah, I went on Jack Effel's Twitter. That guy hasn't tweeted since 2017, unless he deleted it all. But that's wild.
Is it?
You have the leader of the free poker world, like not talking to us, bro.
He's above Twitter, man.
No one's above Twitter.
No one's above
There
Twitter.
are certain
Like
people above
Barack
Twitter.
Obama's on Twitter.
Yeah, but
You
like,
know, yeah, so Jack Effel more.
but like Barack Obama's not making his own tweets.
Trump is.
Putin's
So
not on
that's why he ain't on Twitter anymore.
Nah, that's come on. Let's not start that shit.
All the tweets that say BO at the bottom is Barack Obama.
Yeah. And by them being his tweets, you mean he like sent a text message to his intern who puts out the
Put
tweets.
this tweet out. Trump's were all his.
Yo,
Yeah.
Elon's on
Trump's
Twitter.
were all his. Every single one of them.
Elon's out
I want
there.
to say something profound today. Tell them that the whispers in the wind are equivalent to the dreams in the skies. B.O.
What?
What the hell is going on?
Intern's like, I don't know, Mr. Obama. This
You make
one's
that
not
up
going
right
to
now.
fly.
You made that up right now.
Yeah, I did.
Nice.
Pretty good.
Yeah. Thanks.
Jack Effel thinks he's like Phil Ivey up in here. Phil Ivey's above Twitter. All right, here we go. Let's go to this tweets and replies. That's
He
what
looks,
we
it
can see.
looks like a fake account.
All
Look
right,
at his
where are we
photo.
at? Where are we at? What's his last one? Let's scroll down.
Retweeted 2017.
2017, man.
That's because that was the last time he told people that
shilling Roma
if you're
Deli.
if you're calling 20, you're calling
If
30.
you're calling 18, you're calling 22. Probably one of the most down bad sentences in the history of poker from a director. But like,
Wait, let's break that down. Go ahead.
there was a spot with Dario in the main.
I remember this.
Yeah, I don't remember the exact
But that was-
situation.
that was
He
after
opened tens.
2017.
He opened tens, and the big blind ripped
Yeah.
for what was equivalent to like it was a lot. It was between 30 and
It
40
was
blinds.
a lot. Like, it wasn't just if you're calling 18, you're calling 22. You think about it. But apparently, Jack said if you call 18 million, you're obviously calling 22 million, which
There's a huge
is not
difference
how
in big
numbers
blinds.
work.
It's like, hey, if you're calling 8 big blinds, you're calling 18. It's the
Right.
same.
If you're
Like,
calling
whoa.
8, you're calling 15. Of course, it's the same. It can't be that different. Yes, it can.
15 bigs versus 20 bigs.
That's how you know he's too rich.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Yeah, if you're
man.
calling 18, you're calling 180 million.
He just sized it up. He's like, bro, you have tens. You were never folding. Like, let's move on with this. It was a weird situation though. Like, I remember watching it in real time. Dario asked for a count, and
There's clips in there.
I don't recall if the person who jammed counted his own stack or if the dealer miscounted.
I think the
it.
dealer miscounted.
Yeah.
But
Dealer
there are
miscounted, I
clips.
think.
I think we can get the
It's
clips.
hard to, I don't know if the clip's available.
Yeah,
We'll
good
see.
luck. These all get
That shit got scrubbed.
pushed behind the paywall. But whatever it was, he definitely Dario, as far as I could tell, if my memory serves correctly, he did his due diligence. Like, he confirmed and double confirmed.
All right,
Yeah.
here we go. Yeah.
You would still be held to the same
but
chips.
17.
Miscounted. What you see, it's still your responsibility to understand. Doesn't matter. You can't talk your way out of it. Let's roll. You're calling 17. You're calling 22.
Wow, it's not even 18, it's 17. I like how he gives him the face look, too. He goes,
So,
What do we even think about that ruling, though, honestly?
I mean, it's obviously ridiculous.
well, it's not, though.
all right, yeah, let's go.
It's tough when you see the hands. Like
It's just,
it's a
I mean,
weird statement.
This has just happened a million times, and it always rules that way.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, unfortunately, you're responsible. Like even Pads had it happen to him in the shootout.
Yeah.
Where he asked the dealer twice if it were 125.
Yeah.
And he said she broke the stack down weirdly, where she was like placing one chip at a time
Right.
in a circle.
Doing a ritual, maybe. Yeah.
Creating like a
ritual.
What are the devil stars?
A pentagram?
A pentagram, yeah.
Yo, how you know that so fast, dude? Goddamn.
I know things.
From Florida, man. They got that shit around every corner.
He snapped that one. He was like, it's a pentagram.
Bro, it's trivia time. I know things.
Pentagram.
But yeah, he's like, he confirmed with the dealer multiple times it was 125, and she said yes. And he asked the guy himself. The guy says nothing. And then when Pads calls, he goes, "It's 250." Like,
Wow,
okay,
that's
fuck you.
fucked up.
Just 2x.
That's so fucked.
But yeah, like unfortunately,
Well, there has to be some discretion though, a little bit. No.
I don't think so,
Well,
man.
what can you
like
do, right? What can you do when the cards are
You
table?
want Dario to literally walk around the table and just like double count this stuff?
I think like we have the right to do that.
You have the right, and it does sound absurd, but I guess
It's a big
desperate
moment.
times
It's like
call for
you just
desperate
should.
measures, right?
Like if something looks off, like Pads was saying, like, you know, it doesn't look like 125 to me. That's why I keep asking.
Right.
Then like, yeah, you physically just like begin to touch it. Because here's the thing, like even if you don't have a right to physically touch the chips, once you physically touch the chips, someone higher up will get fucking involved and give you a correct count.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's all that matters.
You
when it's all
just
said and
gotta
done.
reach towards the pot. Just I'm gonna touch it if you don't recount it again.
I do it out of habit all the time because like in private games,
Right, you just move it.
or not, but even like public private games, whatever.
Yeah.
It's like we just have this gentleman's agreement. Like a lot of the dealers are sometimes overwhelmed by the stakes. So it's like if somebody to your left goes all in, and you ask for a count, and the dealer is kind of just like staring at you, like, okay, and you know they're all in for like 75,000. The dealer grabs the first stack of black chips.
Right.
You're just like, whoa. I got
That's
this.
not important, right? It's like
And
this
you
is-
just like start breaking down the meaningful ones. It's
flags.
just
It's
it's like okay, like this is a 75K shove, and you're trying to tell me that this is $3,000. Like I don't care about
If
the
I'm
fucking
calling
change.
70, I'm calling 75.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Right.
You're calling 17.
Count
you're
the
calling
flags.
Right. So it's like oftentimes I'll just do this in like in those cash games it flies, but like in a tournament, if I do that, like you have every right to reprimand me, but you're gonna have to get a goddamn floor over here to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
And you can have him count the fucking chips because clearly you're not doing a good job.
Right.
It feels weird though. Like if the dealer tells you 3 times it's 125, and then you call and it's 250.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, like come on, like the floor should at least use some discretion. Like, bro, come on, that's.
I mean, maybe this
insane.
is something that could get brought up at the TD Summit.
Yeah.
You know, something we can kind of mention to Savage or something like that, where because you're right, there should be some discretion involved whenever the third party is the one that's dictating the price. Because at the end of the day, now it's the dealer who's playing the
medium of
they're playing the unbiased third party, and they continually are confirming one number.
Right.
Yeah.
That number should now have to stick.
Right.
well, it's because like the person that put out the bet, they know how much they bet, right? They didn't
Right,
just
but like
stick
if
out
you're
a
bluffing,
random
you don't want to
number.
talk.
Right. If you're bluffing, you don't want to say
Right,
It shouldn't be
exactly.
on that person to clarify.
Right.
It's on the dealer, right? So it's like when dealers make mistakes, that's the unfortunate part. When the dealer makes the mistake, somebody will be punished.
Yeah.
But in this instance, you're correct in the sense that like if you're the one all in and you hear the dealer confirm multiple times that it's fewer chips than what you've actually gone all in for, now you do have to correct.
What if you don't?
Then, well, so here's the nice thing, right? If you do correct, then you get paid the proper amount prior, right? If you don't correct, then it's only going to be subject to that amount. And if you're bluffing, now you have to determine whether you want your opponent to think that it's the larger amount or you just want to risk getting called and getting a refund.
Right.
Right? But either way, like it does put the shared onus now on the unbiased third party of the dealer and the person who's actually making the wager, who knows implicitly what the amount actually is.
Right. It does seem extremely odd to get a count wrong if the chips themselves are like broken down as they are.
There's a
what
lot
they
of
are.
denominations, though. I see it happening all the time. People gloss over a chip or two.
Right. There's like a
what
dirty
dealers
stack
like to do is
somewhere
mix chips to try to make a whole number.
Right.
And they
that-
sometimes fuck that part up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that like this would be a very good courtesy rule to talk to the TDs about, see if it can get introduced to the summit. Because at the end of the day, like if everybody at the table can agree that the dealer confirmed multiple times that a number is a number,
Right.
then that number should stand.
Right.
Yeah, that's
Seems
fair.
reasonable.
That's fair.
And yeah, like to be fair, like it's unfortunate to be Jack in that spot because you walk over there with no power. I mean, you have the power to do something, but like reasonably speaking, you're never changing the ruling on the table.
He
Right?
seems so aggro
Yeah,
in that
it's just,
spot, though.
it's really
Well, that's
brutal.
why, because
Yeah.
like the rulings will just always go in favor of what's visual,
Right.
and what's visual is that it's 22 or whatever.
He looked kind of like a rapper though. Like he was like,
He did that?
yeah,
He put his hand in front of his face.
He did?
yeah. He was like, nah, bro. It's whatever you see.
That's
Yeah.
I
like
was
John
okay,
Cena.
damn.
Yeah.
I think he was
John
trying
Cena, if it
to.
was John Cena, you couldn't see him.
No.
I think he was trying to bridge the language barrier a bit.
It's a weird way of doing it.
Yeah, visually, like it's like it's a
Yo,
visual
Dario
game.
speaks English, man. Like I say, like there he is. He's rapping. He's like, you see me now. You see me now.
I mean, yeah, he speaks English, but like not perfectly. You don't want things to get lost in translation.
Spanding cheese.
Oh man. Yeah, it's brutal when you see both cards too, because like what are you gonna do? Take your money back? It's
Right.
Like,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
maybe in the sense of like if the dealers counted 17 and it was agreed upon it was 17 and not 22, is it unreasonable for the pot not to be run for 17?
I mean, I think that that's something that we could implement in the future.
Yeah, like I don't expect that to happen in the moment, of course.
Right.
But like
yeah.
if it's agreed upon, okay, this is 17. You
Especially
get the count.
here on a TV table where it's like they can just literally look at the tape and see if it was confirmed 17.
Right.
Right. And like, yeah, that's going to take a little bit of time, but it's the main
Yeah.
event. This is hundreds of thousands of dollars of implications.
Poor
It's
Dario.
it's definitely
Yeah, poor Dario.
an
He
odd
fucking did
comment.
okay for himself.
Poor Dario.
Yeah, only a couple.
This is why I'll
mil.
never win the main event, man. If I'm in that spot and I open like hijack and the big blind just rips it for 40 and I'm looking at 10s, I'm high-fiving myself because I think I just
Nah, no you
No.
won't. No you won't. No you won't.
No.
At that big of a spot, bro. At that big of a spot.
No.
Yes, you give him queens.
That's what you do.
how?
You give
Because
him
he's
jacks
not
plus
ripping
ace king.
fives for
Yeah.
the tournament of his life.
They ain't you, bro.
Yeah, right.
They don't jam the 6-7 suited because they think that
Oh,
they're
here we
weak.
go. No, I'm the
5-6.
one getting
It's
ganged
5-6.
up on.
They
Whenever
knew, bro.
earlier I'm telling Landon that people don't 3-bet ace deuce
Oh yeah,
three-handed
They
at the
should.
monster
Let's get
stack
back to
final
that.
table.
Let's get back to that. Y'all were acting real funny before.
That's why he was so. That's why he was so fired up when we
Yeah,
started.
he was fired up. He was like,
I
he was
said
like-
ace deuce,
he's like,
ace three,
okay,
ace four
Berkey,
off."
you think you know things? Have you ever ran a sim? Like, I'm like, whoa, bro,
Have you ever
relax.
looked at an ICM sim?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was an ICM sim. He qualified it too.
Yeah.
You gotta qualify. You can't. You have to
Qualified it,
qualify
too.
what
It
you're
is
talking
different.
about.
Yeah.
But why are you so calm now?
I said my piece, man. I let it go. Deep breaths, you know.
He's still got to get a little bit bigger before he.
Oh,
shit.
He's not
Bro, he
wrong.
called. He said, "Get your weight
Did
up
you just
before you
call him
speak
small?
up."
Before you
He's
start
not
flexing.
wrong,
He
man.
said,
I'm
"Don't
just-
speak until you bench. Do you even lift, bro?" He said.
yeah. He
I
literally
don't think
said
that's what he
that.
said.
You know what? Have you ever watched basketball when they get a rebound and then put it back and he goes like this, like signifying you're too small, bro. He literally just went like that to you.
I don't think he did
I mean,
that.
I was.
Yeah. No, he did. I
I'm
saw
on
it.
your side, but like I don't
13.
want to.
13.
13 what?
Gaslight.
That's the number right now between you and you. 13.
13 what? You
Gaslight.
did 13. You repped out at 13. Like what happened?
Send both their asses back to Spain.
You
Fuck
can,
out of here.
you can
Fuck
tell
out.
Chin's done this before.
What's wrong, bro? What's wrong?
Why do you do this?
Is this?
Keep going.
No, you can tell he's
It's 'cause the hood's
experienced.
up.
He's experienced in gaslighting. You
But
can
like,
tell.
the thing is, I've checked out of this conversation, but like he keeps answering to me, and then the camera pans back to me like I'm
Yes,
supposed to
and then
give
you
another
have to
response.
answer.
I have nothing left to give. I've got nothing. Just let it go.
I love Dan, man. I love Dan O'Brien's the best. Oh, God, bro. All right, so
Dan's winning in the first quarter of the series. but-
What's next? What's next?
COVID's it's it's
What
bad.
good timing with us getting COVID
Dr.
before the
Fauci,
series.
breaking news, Dr. Fauci has just tested positive for COVID.
Fuck, dude.
I thought I saw him playing in the
Nobody's
Monster
Yeah,
Stack tournament.
he was in the Orleans Daily, actually.
That's where he
weird.
got
Nobody's
it.
safe, man. Nobody's safe out
Yeah.
there. It's crazy.
So it's crazy. It's like,
Well,
it's everywhere.
I mean, it's very contagious. It's like, people are going to get it.
Yeah.
Bro, if he gets it, ain't nobody safe.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I said. That's
Has
what
anyone
know.
ever been fully safe?
No one was
Look,
ever. I mean,
I don't
it's
think anybody's of the
fucking
impression
virus.
that they're not going to get COVID at this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, but like, isn't he like in a bubble somewhere underground?
No, that's what I mean. Like,
Like
haven't we all
running
just
COVID sims?
COVID ICM
COVID
sim.
ICM. There is definitely COVID ICM.
He's yelling at someone saying, you've never
I just want to know. I just want to
Have
know.
you ever read a COVID sim?
I just want to know how all the fake vaxxers are doing this summer as far as like their symptoms go.
Like getting COVID and
Yeah.
They have to have all gotten it, right? Like everyone who got those fake vax cards last year.
When I was flying from Amsterdam, they made me show my vaccine card. I'm like, this is from over a year ago. I don't really think it
No, I think
counts
it's
still.
Actually, I'm not sure what
They don't
the
really
efficacy
know
is.
exactly how long
Yeah.
it lasts.
I just
That's why
showed a
you get the
picture on my
boosters,
phone.
but
It could have been fake for all she knows. I mean,
I would think getting it a year ago is still better than not having it
yeah,
at all.
you can't fly unless you've had it.
Yeah.
Like, period. Imagine if they had that here, everyone would be up in arms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
what
mean, it
happened
says
with this?
Fauci has mild symptoms. I'm sure he's
What happened with this monster
quadruple
stack?
vaxxed.
What do you mean?
Like, I saw someone do like a backflip or something crazy. It was wild.
Yeah, we already showed it.
We did?
Hey, he won.
Won.
Celebrated.
He did a
Oh,
small.
yeah,
He
yeah,
did a
yeah.
small twirl. It wasn't a
It
backflip.
was not. Yeah, it was a twirl. It
so
was
we
not
brought
a
up the
backflip.
because you guys
I was
disagreed.
promised a backflip. I didn't get it back.
I mean, in the real sense of speaking of COVID ICM sims, like, should there be something in place if someone tests positive in the money of a tournament,
Right.
to get some sort of like recommend?
Yeah,
what
we
if,
kinda
it-
talked about
what
this.
if it's
For
like the
that.
FT of the main?
You weren't here. You were
Right.
playing a shootout. We talked about that.
Oh,
That was wild too because remember this actually happened,
had
right?
that online-
Where Pesh tested positive and he
He
was
did.
just gone.
yeah, they got
Yeah.
him. 9th place.
That's
Chips just removed from the tournament
Yeah.
too.
never to be spoken of
Wait,
again.
they didn't
I
flag
watched
him
the final
down?
table. They never brought it up.
Yeah,
They moved all the chips out of play.
kind of messed up that
They had COVID
that the protocol wasn't
COVID chips.
at the time. If you test positive, that you get your ICM instead of just finishing 9th. But to be fair, I don't want to say it was harder to get COVID then, but like we were all very much quarantined,
Yeah.
right? So like you kind of had to be actively seeking it. And from what I heard, Pesh was like,
Quarantine. Everyone's masked up.
yeah, Pesh was
Man.
like out
So
the
what,
night
though?
before.
The incentives are misaligned this year, in my opinion. So here it's like you get COVID, they don't do any testing. Ain't nobody gonna self-disqualify themselves out of a tournament in the
Yeah.
final table. They're just gonna play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you want to incentivize people to be straight up, then just be like, "Hey, I have COVID.
Well, here-
I'll take
I don't know that they,
ICM."
I don't know that they
Imagine-
do want to incentivize
Here's
that.
my
Like,
Imagine
issue-
someone's like
That's
a
what I'm saying.
massive chip lead, and then they're like, "Fuck, I need to get COVID because like I don't really want to play this
Right.
out."
Well, because also at the same point though, like if
Or
you
fake
give
it.
somebody strict ICM value, right, and not taking anything off of it, like some people that like get chips and like don't play very well in ICM situations now
Yeah.
get the full value of what it's
Right.
worth. Where like you might be playing ICM spots terribly and removing that edge from the entire
Okay,
competition,
so you give
right?
them, so
Yeah,
like
you
a-
can't
like
give 'em
ICM
direct.
and a penalty, whatever. Like maybe you get knocked down one spot.
But the
so
issue-
instead of 8,
right.
like if you ICM for whatever, you get knocked down a peg or whatever. Or,
Well,
you know, it is
here
what
would be
it
the
is.
issue, right? Is because it's not going to be treated in a theoretical sense of skill level. It can't be treated equally, right? Because somebody with all the chips is different than a world-class player with all the chips.
Of course,
right?
but we can't. But we, you know,
So
that's
the world-class
subjective.
player is definitely not incentivized to say, "Hey, I'm sick." But someone that's not as good would be like, "Oh, like, I got it. Like, give me my ICM
No, it's
value."
not like I got it, bro. It's like they like.
You know what I mean?
Got it.
yeah, but like
Yeah.
you can get a false positive.
No,
easily.
like look, all these casinos
test on
have their
site.
own testing protocol.
That's what I'm saying. Like
they
you should
all have
they-
their own stuff.
I think for this to happen,
in-house.
they would have to test you and see that you're positive. You
This,
can't
is,
just be
this
like,
sounds
"Hey."
like a lot of overhead for a company
course.
that has no responsibility to this.
Of course, that's
no,
why
it's
they
not
don't
overhead.
do it.
They have in-house already, bro. All these dealers, all these in-house workers already get tested by the casino.
Okay.
So
If they
okay,
didn't-
so you tell
Right.
them I'm positive, and they're like, okay, test with our people, positive. Okay, you're positive.
If they didn't have some
Right.
kind of protocol like that, then this would 100% get taken advantage of. Like, right? Wouldn't it?
Well, like my issue is like, let's say in both instances, the world-class player and the person that's not as great are positive, right? What if they are positive? They should not get the same distribution of removal of compensation for their ability, right? But how do you do it?
They should.
So you're saying if
Well,
someone's
that's
like,
Landon's point is like if you're a world-class player, you just don't say anything.
right? If someone's a world-class player and like they understand ICM very well, and it's worth a massive spot, and why would you give up potential money if you're not going to get your full ICM value, because that's part of the tournament and part of your edge.
Okay, so then you
Right?
have
So
to pay, so you
how
have to
do
just
you
pay ICM.
You can't bracket it and say, oh, this guy's not a pro, like he gets 10%.
Well,
this
the
guy
good
gets
thing
you
is
just
the
have to pay ICM.
percentage
There's
of
no other way.
world-class players as opposed to not is very small. So
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I just think the incentives are
disaligned.
weird. Yeah, it's weird. The incentives, like Berkey's saying, WSOP, they're like, well, whatever. We're running the tournament. If you want to play, you play it. I don't know. It's weird. Weird
Right.
spot.
Well, maybe that's what it is. Like you just accept that. And like
I
if
also
you-
just think like we're putting a big onus on the company that may or may not be justified. Like nobody's holding anyone else running major events like this. No one's holding their feet to the fire. Nobody's saying that the win should be testing.
doing the
Nobody's
same,
saying
yeah.
nobody's saying that sporting events should be testing prior to letting patrons in. Nobody's saying that nightclubs should be testing and all this other. I mean, it's just like, I get it that we want better outcomes, especially as the woke mob, which is what poker Twitter largely is.
Yeah.
But there's just no practicality to it. Like
Yeah.
we're holding, like why do we hold one specific entity within our community at a higher standard than literally everything else?
Yeah.
I mean, I understand why, because there's a massive influx of humans there that we're going to interact with, and we all want to be able to play. But I think the people that are calling for a lot of these protocols to be put in place
Right.
are also the ones that just
Because they're making money. It's different. When the players in these leagues, NBA, whatever, they had to get vaccinated to play, or else you had to sit, similar to Kyrie Irving.
get fined, yeah.
Right? These
not anymore.
Yeah, but that was before. But okay.
But we're here now.
Yeah, but they're paying these
The World
players.
Series did something proactive last year, and everybody else complained.
All right.
There was the same complaint.
I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
they're making money off.
Okay, so is Omnia. So is Encore Beach Club. I don't understand why is this double standard existing just because it's within the poker sphere,
Okay.
right? Like it just doesn't make any sense to me. Like I don't disagree with the stance that we should create some sort of incentivized exit for people showing symptoms so that
Right,
we can
like a
slow the
Bring
protocol.
back
spread.
the plexi. I liked that. No one. I had no rogue legs touching my leg.
Where are the people that are complaining about the WSOP, but think it's fine that Omnia is?
Well,
doing the
this
good
is
one?
this is kind of my point. The people complain, the loudest voices complaining about WSOP are opting out. They're all sitting out the WSOP this year. So it's like, what's the difference? Like, if this protocol were in place, you guys wouldn't suddenly come.
Yeah.
The risk is still high,
Yeah.
right? And yeah, sure, I understand where they're coming from. That it would be nice if we could create a mutually incentivized system where if people started to show symptoms, we could get them out and potentially prevent the spread.
Yeah.
But that really doesn't align at all with everybody who's showing up willing to take on the risk.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right?
but the risk is not. If this person is positive and there's no way out, they're going to play. You're not signing up. Like when you sign up for the tournament, you're just hoping that everyone you're playing with doesn't have it. But now this person like clearly has
But you're
it.
also indirectly consciously saying that I'm willing to push through if I show symptoms.
No one's saying that. No
Then
one
you
is saying
wouldn't
that.
sign
There's
up for the
hella
event.
people that pulled out
That,
on
no, there
Twitter.
aren't.
They're like, "Oh,
there-
I'm not playing."
Yeah,
And everyone
not
was
that
After
like-
they bust?
Yeah, they don't play, or they don't play
No,
from the
that's not
start.
true.
Or they
Show
don't
me
play-
somebody who didn't go to a day 2 or day
I will
3.
bet it. I will
But it's
bet it
also
right
like
now.
we don't know how many are still playing with it.
Look,
Wait, what are you
They're
going to
not
bet?
gonna
I
tweet
saw
about it.
Venom being the only person, and I didn't even know if he was memeing.
Yeah.
He could have literally just showed up and busted and
You
made
never
that
know
tweet.
if Venom's memeing
But
or
like,
not. You just
he
never
basically
know.
said he had a 7-blind stack going into day 2 of the 25K, and he opted out because he had symptoms.
right.
That's one person.
Okay. you
Show me
s-
one other person in the entire poker community that pulled out of an event because of COVID
Right.
symptoms.
That's the one person.
Okay, then what the fuck
Okay,
are you
you said
talking
no one.
about?
You said no one. I had someone in mind.
Okay,
I said I'll bet it.
We don't even know if he's memeing. He literally could just been trolling about him busting a short stack.
Okay, then you would have won.
my point is like your anecdote here is completely disaligned. Like obviously every single person when they sign up has made a conscious decision to say if I show symptoms when the money matters, I'm going to play.
Yeah.
Otherwise we'd see people opting out in the money.
Right.
Like let's not turn this into some sort of moral compass issue where people are growing morality over some unforeseen event. It's very foreseen.
Right.
We all know when we show up to the WSOP that getting COVID is probable.
Right. If not highly likely. Like
can I
you know
just
what you're
say
signing up for.
how good our timing was that we all got it? Like
Maybe.
before? What do you mean maybe?
Well, I don't know if Omicron has the same shelf life
Well,
as...
we're all still standing.
Yeah. No symptoms yet. Knock on wood.
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
But,
like I've seen people like not play high value events because they had it, which is different than if you played in
Way
the first
different.
place.
It's
much
way different.
Right?
But why?
Because you aren't
You didn't
actually
you didn't buy in.
forfeiting...
You didn't give
No,
them
but
money.
what's the difference?
The EV of a stack beyond day one is much greater than you registering. Always. Always.
Okay, so you're saying that people are gonna skip the main event if they have COVID?
Don't know.
Because
but
that's the same argument. Says, oh,
not
they're
the same.
skipping. No,
It's not
they're
the same.
skipping
I think
high
that's-
value events. So now I'll give you the highest value event, and now you're gonna skip.
I think some people will if they have it prior. I don't think they'll skip it during.
Right, like you're changing
No one
the
talks about it
argument.
during it. You
You're
can make $1
changing the
million.
argument. You're
You
trying to
said
make,
people are skipping high value events.
right.
I said,
And I'm
okay.
saying that's very different than sitting out once you already make a day two.
Yeah.
Making day two will always, no
Sure,
matter
you
what the
have more
event is,
EV.
have higher
Can we go back
EV
to
than you
talking about
registering.
balls?
You want to talk about balls?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Lead the way.
So
You can't disrupt convos and not come up with something. Mike's on
that
you.
was more fun though than hearing you guys fight.
All right,
Okay.
go ahead.
Start us
So
off.
who's pro ball and who's anti ball?
I'm pro ball.
I'm pro ball for myself.
Anti for everyone else? Wow.
Anyone else can do whatever they want with their balls.
He wants no one else to have balls except him.
What if the COVID vaccine shrunk your balls but did not affect your sperm count?
Well, it depends if we're on day 2 or not.
It also depends what your starting size is. Like it maybe someone wants that. Like they're just like these are too heavy.
Do you think that you could come across a set of balls that are just quite frankly too big?
I don't know. I mean,
What if it's disproportionate?
probably, yeah.
I can't believe we're talking
that's
about this
possible.
again. This is
What if it's
unbelievable.
disproportionate? What if you're looking at like, you know, below
wrong with
average
you guys?
penis?
Like it's like the balls are like double the size.
Below
of the,
average
yeah.
penis size, above average ball size.
Yeah, that would be something.
Make sure to hit that like button.
That would be something. Yeah, that would be too big probably.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But, it's like
the
well, you
inverse
can't change it. Like,
The inverse would never be a problem. Above average penis size, well below average balls.
Sure.
Not a problem.
yeah, and well, one makes the other look bigger.
Sure. But like we're actually just saying like physically measurable. You know?
Yeah.
Not a problem. Not a problem at all.
Listen, I don't have a problem
My
with
final
most
stance
anatomy.
is
so,
that aesthetically speaking, balls are a nuisance.
yeah.
Yeah.
I believe you.
Yeah. I think we all agree.
They're not a nuisance for me, but I believe that they are for you.
Oh, they could be.
I have yet to experience it. Listen, there's not many anatomies that I would be like, God. Well, there actually, yeah, there was like one, but that was not like a proportion thing. It was just like a
Those feet.
texture thing.
Oh, the snake dick guy? Yeah, nobody wants a scaly dick. All right, that's going to wrap it. We'll be back tomorrow. Same time, same channel. Make sure you like, subscribe, leave a comment below. Let us know if you got a scaly dick.
You know, it's not that unreasonable because
A scaly dick?
no, because like there are women that their boobs are too big and they get a reduction.
Yeah,
Right.
I know.
So like there should be a male ball reduction.
yeah.
I'm done with today.
Are we gonna close the show? Or are we gonna keep
Well,
going?
it's called
Well,
steroids.
it came into my mind.
It's called steroids.
Yeah.
Ah, there you go, Landon. It's called steroids.
Telling Landon he
Don't
needs a
look at
ball
me.
reduction.
I don't need anything. Dude.
Can we close the fucking show?
We'll be back tomorrow, 11 a.m. Like, subscribe, leave a comment below. There's a good chance that I won't be here because I'm going to day 2 this fucking 3K 6 max. But Christian's going to lead the way.
The 3K turbo.
3K turbo, baby.
Super turbo.
Hyper turbo. I'm in it.
Mega giga turbo.
I'm in it to win it. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
You'll be in it for like 30 minutes.